Where to even begin, Notre Dame fans, following the Irish's 27-24 victory in Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, for a spot to play in the national title game. This is Jack Sowell, Tyler Horka. I'm Mike Singer to talk about this game. Tyler, I'll start off with you, man. So many moments to discuss with this game. I'll just give you the floor. What do you want to talk about first with this just massive win for the Irish?
Well, it was looking bad. It was looking really bad for the Fighting Irish, and I get it. The Georgia game kind of went the same way in the sense that Georgia was winning for 3-0 for much of that first half, and then it was like, okay, is Notre Dame ever going to wake up? In the Sugar Bowl, I never really was worried that Notre Dame wouldn't wake up. In this one, I was actually thinking, oh man, they can't run the ball, they can't stop the run. This is looking bad, like I said. But there was something about Steve Angeli leading a field goal drive and putting points on the board. Riley Leonard, of course, goes out with what looked like a head injury. He eventually comes back in the second half. But Steve Angeli gets one drive in this football game and puts Notre Dame's first points on the board. I'll let Jack talk about the second half, but if that doesn't happen and you end up winning by 3 points as well, if Notre Dame is losing 10-0 at halftime, I don't know if Notre Dame wins this game. And there's so much more to this game than that field goal drive, but that was huge. And like I said, Jack, you want to talk about the second half because that's where all the fun is.
Yeah, that was a huge moment. Another huge moment, I think, for Riley Leonard, who obviously guts this one out, comes back in. The deep ball to Aeneas Williams, I thought, was a huge, huge moment. It was a really smart play call by Mike Denbrock because Penn State was going with a ton of man. They get their best receiving back, probably the best receiving back with Jeremiah Love Hobbleton. We will get to that later because he was fantastic after the game. Aeneas Williams lines up out wide, runs a go ball, gets matched up on a linebacker again because they're playing so much man. Riley Leonard hits him, perfect throw, leads him away from the defender. Yeah, drops it in the bucket. Couple plays later, they go down and score. I want to say it was like an 8-play, 75-yard drive. Leonard punches it in. At that point, the offense was kind of rolling, which when's the last time we've seen the Irish offense roll like that against a team like that? Just the thing, big picture early. What stands out from this win is just the guts. We said it after the A&M game. We said it after the USC game. It's a special football team. They showed some real guts tonight. Every punch Penn State had for Notre Dame had one back, and they dealt the final blow with the Mitch Jeter field goal with 7 seconds left.
Just as a Dolphins fan, covering Notre Dame, being in this stadium at this moment, I just had to look around and be like, holy crap, this really is, I think I've said surreal 5 times now, that is the word. Man, I tweeted this during the game. The Nick Singleton drop touchdown that Penn State has to settle for 3. I tweeted, we're going to talk about that one later in the night. And then Penn State goes up 10-0, which felt like 50-0, if we're going to be honest. And I was like, all right, yeah, maybe we're not going to come back to that. But we did. We do end up coming back to that. That 4-point swing, or 4 points off the board for Penn State, plus the Angeli drive with the 3 points, giving Notre Dame, hey, we're only down 7. Then you get the ball and you score. It's 10-10. That Notre Dame team's like, man, we just got outplayed for most of the first half, and now it's tied. It was like they were playing with house money. That was the moment for me. And then the Jaden Greathouse. How about Jaden Greathouse and Notre Dame getting a 100-yard wide receiver? What?
LeBron James meme. It's about damn time. we are in South Florida after all.
We are.
Yeah. Greathouse was huge. I actually had an MVP vote in this game. I voted for Jaden Greathouse.
Yeah.
It went to Riley Leonard, quarterback award, MVP, right? But he was phenomenal. It's another one of those things. I like what you said about like all the moments that add up. I was saying that about the Sugar Bowl. It ended up being the case. R.J. Oben, the kick return touchdown. In this, it was the small plays that each of these guys made. Like, it wasn't just the 54-yard, 52-yard touchdown, whatever it was for Jaden Greathouse. It was all the little first downs that he got, and just like 7 catches for 105 yards. That's a real wide receiver game, kind of like Jordan Faison in the first round against Indiana. So Notre Dame doesn't win without Jaden Greathouse. We need to talk more about Mitch Jeter, though, because this guy is nails. The locker room is calling him Mr. January. He went 2 for 3 in December, though, but like, he is a postseason player. He's 7 of 8 in the playoffs. He hasn't missed a kick in the playoffs except for the one that got blocked against Indiana. He's nailed, and they're all 40-plus yarders. The game winner was 41 yards. That's no gimme. You can easily hook that. He was pushing kicks wide right when he was missing. He's not missing now, and every good championship team always seems to have a kicker who's nails and makes the big kicks. Mitch Jeter is that right now.
I mean, Mitch Jeter was that at Texas A&M. Took a 3-4 months. I don't even know how long it's been. Took a long break from being that guy, in large part due to that hip or groin injury that he suffered, and he has been money Mitch Jeter in the postseason. I mean, I asked Howard Cross like what his reaction was after that kick went in, and he's like, yeah, we knew it was going in. It was no big deal. So that was incredible. The moment before that, though, how about, by the way, this is the most schizophrenic video we've ever done, which is fitting because this was a schizophrenic football game. The moment before that, Christian Gray, man, twice in a row now, he's come up with the massive play in a game that looked very much in doubt for Notre Dame. He comes up with an incredible interception. He had blanketed coverage on the guy. Drew Aller never should have thrown that ball.
So dumb.
He has the interception. Notre Dame, who was clearly afraid to take a sack on that possession and calling the game like it, because they could not block Abdul Carter to save their lives. Leonard rolls out to his left, sprints out to his left, finds Jaden Greathouse in that little play on third down. Like Tyler said, it's those little moments that add up. The third downs. I thought the slot fade that Leonard hit to Greathouse in the back shoulder, 3rd and 9, another huge one. That you're like, oh, Notre Dame doesn't convert those very much. The offense was clicking in a way that we knew it was capable of, but we just hadn't seen against an opponent of this caliber. We saw it tonight.
One quick point. You make a really good point on Notre Dame getting a first down after the Christian Gray interception, because if they don't, I don't think they don't win on a game winner.
Yeah. Greathouse.
Yeah, it was third and Greathouse. So when Notre Dame got that ball at the 41-yard line, you're sitting there thinking, okay, this is not Brandon Aubrey. Mitch Jeter is good right now, but he's not going to make a 60-yarder. Let's make this a 40-yarder, and we know that he's going to make it. Sure enough, just clutch from the Notre Dame offense.
Jack, we talked about this in the press box. That was the first time Notre Dame went down by double-digit scores all season. I'm thinking to myself, Notre Dame is not built to come from behind. They're not a passing team to come from behind like that. And then defensively, Notre Dame feasts when other teams are throwing the ball, and you can go pressure them. You get down in distance. It's 3rd and long, second. But Penn State was gashing Notre Dame in the run game. The first half gave you no confidence that Notre Dame was going to be able to turn that game around. And I don't know what the team talk was at halftime, Jack, but that team, and I think the Angeli field goal drive gave them a boost, but I don't know what the talk was at halftime, because it looked like a completely different team. The defense was pretty, they allowed some points in the second half, but it was still pretty lights out. Yeah,
they were incredible. They bucked up and just got just enough stops. Like Penn State still got theirs. I was right about one thing, by the way. Tyler Warren would get his, but he would not beat Notre Dame. Tyler Warren got his. But he didn't. He was not the risk. The risk was not being able to stop the run, which is what happened in the first half. Penn State's offensive tackles were better than Notre Dame's defensive ends. That was the big thing in the first half. The linebackers weren't getting to the edge quickly enough. They were giving up the edge every time. That's why they were moving the football. They just bucked up, like I said, and got just enough stops in that second half to let the offense cook. And who would have thought we'd say a sentence like that about this Notre Dame team in the college football playoff?
Who would have thought that we would see Tosh Baker play pretty much this entire football game? Who would have thought you would have seen Charles Jagasaw play right guard for pretty much this entire football game? Notre Dame loses 40% of its offensive line. Notre Dame loses its starting quarterback for a significant series. Steve Angeli saves that series. It's just guys stepping up and making plays. And the Christian Gray thing is a perfect example of that. That was a winning football play. Christian Gray helped this football team win with that play.
Boys, I am looking forward to doing this again, the same post-game stand-up in Atlanta. January 20th, Notre Dame will play either Texas or Ohio State. We'll find out the result of that game on Friday night. But make sure you lock into this Blue and Gold YouTube channel, blueandgold.com. These jokers are going to be writing tons of articles to cover the Fighting Irish. Late night for you?
Early morning.
Yeah, early morning. So
no night, I think is what we're in for.
January 20th,
no
folks.
Sleep till Atlanta.
We will not sleep is the point of that statement.
Irish playing in the national championship game. I'm fired up. I know you guys are fired up. Hit the thumbs up on this video, and as always, we'll catch you next time.